Hi, and welcome to another episode of Prime 50 TV. I'm Chris Edwards, and I'm here with Dr. Max. How you doing?
Very good, Chris. Good to see you again.
Excellent. Good to see you. Right, today we're going to talk about maintaining muscle and the product in which you offer. So, first of all, tell us, how did the Maintaining Muscle product come about? Why did you feel you needed to create it?
Yeah, this is a really, really important product for the over 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. I've worked in research and development all my life, but more recently I worked in sports nutrition, which was a fascinating part of my life. And it was when I was in that particular company, I started to think to myself, just a minute, it's all right for the young guys in the gym building muscle and abs and pectorals and whatever. But I started to think, well, but what about the over 50s, over 60s, 70s? Because a lot of people at that age group become frail, in my opinion, far too early in life.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is due to problems with joints, and they're losing muscle very, very fast. So I did a lot of research. I met a lot of top professors, doctors, dietitians, and more importantly, I read the latest science around the subject of what's called sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle loss. And I was just horrified at how widespread sarcopenia was. And secondly, I was horrified how much we were missing vitamins and minerals from our diet, which is something which a lot of people don't really understand. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something. So I attacked sarcopenia first, age-related muscle loss, and this is the product we're talking about today.
So, yeah, this is the product because it comes in shallot form and it also comes in a tub form, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. I mean, we've got it in nice sachets here.
Yep.
We've got 7 sachets here. These are the sachets here, very nice, easy tear sachets. It's a powder inside, and it's absolutely pumped full of all the micronutrients that you need, but also quite a large dose of protein. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but one thing I just want to make sure people understand, protein is not just for the youngsters in the gym. Protein is not just for young people.
Because that is one of the fears, isn't it, people have. As soon as we start talking about protein, people will instantly jump to thinking they're going to grow big and strong and have big muscles.
Absolutely. And really, protein is probably the most important nutrient. Well, it is the most important nutrient we can take on board. You know, we can live without carbs. We can live without fats. We cannot live without protein.
Okay, yeah.
It's as simple as that.
How quickly do the over 50s lose muscle mass?
Okay, that is a big problem. They probably don't know it, but they're losing muscle mass very quickly. And I'm not trying to frighten people. It's really important. If you look at the first chart here, on the top of the chart, you can see very clearly an MRI scan across somebody's upper legs.
Yep.
Okay, you can see the little white dot in the middle, that's bone. You can see the black around it, that's all muscle mass, and then the white around that, the circumference, that's skin fat mass. And that's a 21-year-old person, healthy young person. The MRI scan at the bottom is a 63-year-old man, healthy, not unhealthy, and as you can see, there is a large decrease in muscle mass, but also there is a large ingress of fatty tissue. You can see how fatty the muscle is as well. And that's just called sarcopenia. It's classic age-related muscle loss. It's not a disease necessarily, it's just what we expect. And this is called sarcopenia. This is something that we really should try and inhibit, which we can do with protein. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you look at the next chart, you can see that we have similar MRI scans. One is of a man in his 70s, which is somebody who has been sedentary all his life. And you can see there was a massive deterioration of muscle loss there and quite a large amount of fat mass that's been formed. That's called sarcopenia and obesity all in one. So some people call that sarcobesity. But then on the right-hand side, there was a similar age guy, but he has kept fit and healthy all his life. He's gone to the gym, he's done a bit of running, and you can see that it is actually possible to retain all that muscle.
You say retain, can you reverse?
You can reverse it to some extent, absolutely. You can certainly go to the gym, do some exercise, go for some walking, do some resistance exercise, and providing you take enough protein as well, because you have to feed the muscle,
okay,
because muscle is protein, crudely speaking, you can reverse it to a certain extent.
And that's where this maintaining muscle comes in to help you maintain it.
Exactly.
And also reverse what you can.
Yes, that's right. And, this is not about muscle building necessarily. This is all about, like you say, maintaining muscle. It's really, really important to maintain muscle, because once you've lost it, and let me talk about that in a second, once you've lost it, it is so difficult to go backwards. It can be done, but you have to put in 10 times the effort.
Yeah, it's quite weird, because obviously I'm quite young, and I have none of this knowledge. We're not told this.
Yeah.
That once you reach a certain age, your muscle mass is going to decrease so significantly.
Yeah.
And I think if there was education at a younger age, we'd understand more about it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's one final thing which I have to show you. And again, it's a very simple little graph. And let me tell you what this experiment was. This was done about 7 or 8 years ago by an Australian professor who put young guys and older guys into a pretend hospital situation. They were measuring the rate of muscle loss if you were sedentary, i.e. you did nothing but lie down or sit in a chair, which unfortunately a lot of people do. After 28 days, the young guys, 25 years old, they lost about 350 grams. That's quite a lot of muscle to lose off your legs. The 63-year-olds, they lost over 1 kilogram of muscle. But it's worse than that. They didn't have to wait 28 days to lose that kilogram. They lost the kilogram in 10 days. Just 10 days. So basically, we, as older people, are much more prone to losing muscle than younger people. About 9 to 10 times faster if we are sedentary, if we don't do anything.
That's some shocking statistics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shocking results.
It is.
So why the Maintain a Muscle product? Why should someone buy this over just going along to a general high street store and picking up what they think is normal protein powder?
Absolutely. Well, there are lots of protein products out there. But if you go back to the science, which is what I've done, and I've also read the latest science on what's called the Prot Age study, which is the top protein scientists in the world got together for a week. Somebody locked them in, threw the key away, and they had to agree, what were the best strategies for retaining muscle in over 50s. And first of all, they concluded that whey protein is by far the best protein to use.
Yep.
There's lots of different proteins. There's plant proteins as well, which are all the rage now. But unfortunately, when it comes to hanging on to muscle, whey protein, which comes from milk, of course, is superior to any other protein on the planet. So I chose whey protein first of all. I also decided to add a very special material called leucine. Leucine is an amino acid. Just to take 2 seconds out. Amino acids are the building bricks, the building blocks of protein, which is muscle. All right. So you need to feed the muscle with the right building blocks. There is a very special building block. It's called an essential amino acid, called leucine, and there is a lot of very good science out there in the literature which proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that leucine is by far the best amino acid to feed older adults to retain muscle. It's a very, very interesting amino acid. So we've got a stack of leucine added on top. And then we have other materials in here. We have a whole stack of micronutrients. We have vitamin D in here. Now, a lot of people associate vitamin D with bones, and that's fine. And it's in there, and it will help protect bones, etc., etc. But we have vitamin D in here because it helps muscles work properly. We have magnesium in here. We have zinc in here. All of these micronutrients are involved in muscle biochemistry. And therefore, what we've done is concentrate on the micronutrients, which actually helps the aging muscle, produce a more effective power output.
So there's a lot more thought going into this than your general high street brand, doesn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. I mean, there's even more than that. I mean, we know that the aging gut does not absorb minerals and vitamins particularly well. We have 2 strategies here. We have something called bioperin, which is a patented extract of black pepper, a very special material. And this helps the aging gut absorb micronutrients much more effectively. So that's another tick in the box. And we also, with some of the minerals, which are not very easy to absorb, we've actually used minerals which are ultra-soluble, things called bisglycinates and citrates, not just oxides. So that is another way of getting the aging gut to absorb these micronutrients. Okay.
And this is it here, isn't it? This is what comes in?
Yes, this is it. You can take this with milk, or you can take it with water, or 50-50. and it's absolutely delicious, strawberry flavoured.
Because you don't have to be over 50 to take this, do you? Maybe in 35?
Yeah, any age really. I mean, I have a lot of younger people, the fire brigade, people, ballet dancers, Zumba classes. I have a whole range of much younger people taking this because I think they've been on the website, they've done the research, they obviously know what they're doing. And they've worked out quite clearly that this is a really good, well thought through, serious product because one heck of a lot of good science has gone into this product over the last few years.
And what flavour have we got?
This is a strawberry flavoured.
That tastes good.
It does taste good.
It does. It doesn't taste like your normal high street blend that you get.
It took quite a long time. And we did consumer testing versus other products, and this was by far the best.
The issue you get with normal high street products is after a week or so, you're like, I really can't have another one. The taste is just bland, but that's really flavoursome.
It's really good. It took a long time, and it was well worth it. And the nice thing about it, like I said, the whey is derived from milk. And some people out there might think, I've got a bit of lactose intolerance. Again, we have lactase enzyme in there, which actually takes care of lactose intolerance. So we've got an enzyme in there which splits the lactose, and it means you don't have any problems if you're a bit lactose intolerant. So again, we've tried to think about every single thing.
We've got a few minutes left, so let's just pick up on the general questions that Keegan asked, both for men and women. Men and women, absolutely. Brilliant. And over 50s, is there an upper limit age? Is there an age at which
not really.
You stop taking it?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, with any supplement, it's always best to check with your GP, and that's what I put on every single pack. But there is no upper limit for protein. Absolutely. Like I said, the older we get, the more protein we need. And let me tell you another fact about that before we finish. The RDA, the recommended daily dose or allowance for protein, is around 60 grams for an individual. Again, the latest science is saying, no, that's hopelessly out of date. It's now near 100, maybe 110 grams. And that is to counteract this rapid loss of muscle tissue. Now, how do you actually eat 100 grams of protein? I'll tell you, it's actually 4 chicken breasts. Now, that's quite a lot in a day. Most people are going to fall off their chairs saying, well, there's no way I'm going to eat that. Well, I will say, okay, you might have 1 chicken breast. You might have a little bit of milk. You might have a little bit of, in your brown flakes. So you might get 50 to 60 grams a day on average. That's not bad. But as we get older, we actually need more protein. And therefore, this is a beautiful way, an efficient way of getting an extra slug of protein plus the micronutrients into your diet. You're getting just under 20 grams of protein. If you take it with milk, you're probably taking 30 grams of protein in at once, which is exactly what you need. And you can take it with any of the other products, can't you? Yes, absolutely. I mean, when I was formulating all the Prime 50 products, safety was top priority. And I suppose there's a couple of things to say on safety. First of all, most over 50s will be on some kind of meds of some type. And a large percentage of over 60s will be on what we call polypharmacy. This is where they're on 5 medications or more. So I was very careful to choose only the safe ingredients that were perfectly compatible. And I also avoided herbals because there are some herbals, things like St. John's wort and valerian, that can interact with some pharmaceutical drugs. So I was very, very careful about that. I've also avoided using what I call mega doses, which is where some people might be able to go into a health shop and buy, pure doses of iron or selenium or whatever. I don't like that. I think it's a bit unsafe. You can definitely overdose on some of the minerals and indeed some of the vitamins. Vitamin A can be quite toxic at very high doses, for example. So I've not used any mega doses, so I've been very, very careful to make sure these are absolutely safe. All the products are made in the UK. They're made to GMP, which is actually a pharmaceutical standard. So that's an extra unique selling point with the product range. And basically, I think it's absolutely perfect. It's safe. Everything covered. It's efficacious. We've done the science, and it is geared towards the over 50s. I don't think there's any product like this, certainly not in the UK, and perhaps even Europe. Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. So that is the Maintaining Muscle product. You can find out more by going on to prime50.co.uk. You can jump on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or YouTube channel, and Max is always there on hand to answer any questions.
Be delighted to.
You all the team are always on hand. So if you do have any questions, do message at the bottom of this video if you need to. Thank you so much again for talking through the product, and we look forward to speaking to you more next week. Thank you everyone, and have a good day.